okay. I threw my BoJack away, and Cheyenne bought me like a small one, like 5x7 of it instead of the 8x10. I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna put this, but thank you.
That was so nice of her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that for you. At least thought to.
Yeah.
Like, if you'd asked me to, I would have been like, totally, but like, I wouldn't have like thought more. Because like the way you worded it was like, oh, this time depressed era is over, but I would have been like, okay, cool.
It definitely
I'd
was.
you something new, but I wouldn't have printed you the same one.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know where to put it at the moment, so it's okay. It'll be a nice memory. I mean, Sleeping Beauty's been in front of it for like the last 6 months. Probably longer than that. I don't know how long I've had that Sleeping Beauty print that Liza got me.
Yeah.
So.
I'll have to get you a print. Even though that one time you technically bought yourself prints, I just like ordered you a shit ton of randos.
I kept some of them. I kept the Kirby with the gun, which I don't think is work appropriate, but I kept it. I kept the scene from Open the Garden Wall because now that ever since you showed me that show, it's literally like one of my favorite shows now. And the Squidward one is on my locker, and everyone keeps asking me why it's there, and I'm like, why are you questioning it?
They probably think somebody put it up there.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Like, I
so.
would have done that to you if I was still working there.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, my BoJack era. It's because I think during COVID I rewatched that show like 3 times.
I started it and I literally had to tap out because of how depressed it made me. This episode became about BoJack Horseman.
It's a depressing show, but like I think it was like, this is nice. There's comfort here.
I don't know what it was. I think it was just like, it kind of delved a little too deep into the like feelings of feeling like a shitty person.
Are you holding your mic backwards?
Oh,
how's your volume? Is your volume picking up?
Yes. It's been picking up pretty quietly compared to what it is now, though. Do you want to see? It went from like a centimeter of the little, volume dash line to like,
just have to
3 inches.
So I'll restart. Have you watched BoJack Horseman before, Kaylin?
Yes. Honestly, if you just cut it short to where we started talking and it was muffled and then it was like...
Yeah, I probably will.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, I mean, the show...
Don't when I...
Oh. Anyway.
You may go first.
The show does come to like a completion with it. I mean, it obviously is a very sad show. BoJack's depressed. I stand with my man Todd. He's my main man. But it does come to like a nice full circle. It does take like a weird turn. But it does give like a nice conclusion, which I like.
Yeah, I liked
don't know how
the
far
content. I liked the content in it. I think the content just was like, it was a little too honest, and at that time I was such a young, underdeveloped person as well that I was like, oh my god, I'm a shit person.
When did you watch it? Like when you were in college still?
Yeah, like sophomore year, which was a very like developmental time for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw a lot of people talking about it, and I just never got around to watching it. And I watched it, I want to say my senior year at Walsh. So I was already 24.
Yeah. I think that if you're too young watching it, it's just kind of like, well, I disagree. It depends on like where you're at or if you're depressed or not. And I think I was just too depressed at the time to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the relatability, I rewatched it when I was probably at like the lowest during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but there's some good messages in it. I was like, you're right. And the poster that I had, the one that says like, it gets easier every day. The hard part is that you have to do it every day or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're right, BoJack. Life will get easier, but I got to keep doing it every single day. And eventually I found some new friends.
Who?
These two weirdos that just like forced me into their life. They were like, here's a key to my house. Here are my animals. Hope you love them. Also, we're going to work with you now. So we're going to see you all the time. So you have to like us either way. And now I do a podcast with them.
And we don't work together. You still come around.
Sad.
That's funny.
And I rebranded.
We really gave you a key to the house. I purely was 100% in it because Kinsey would never get up and get the door. I was like, here, so now she can open the damn door. I don't want to get up.
You guys were also giving everyone, like, you gave your partners keys at the time too. So it was almost like, I was like, dang, guess I'm part of the family now. Like, the boyfriend's got a key. Guess I get one too.
Let me think. You came in the picture like a year before Colin, though. I mean, nobody stuck around long enough to get a key, and I would say you probably were like the quickest to get a key, like in the time span. When Colin got a key because of Ripley, and he had been around long enough that I knew I wanted to be with him, and it's a matter of trust. I was like, I trust these people. Like when fucking Kinsey moved out, she was still dating her current boyfriend at the time, and he handed me his key that day, like she moved out. So it was a matter of trust. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying you can't give that out to anybody.
My grandma was like, "Can you get the house key back from Kinsey?" Because she's very weird about giving her a key to someone. She's like, when'd you give your friend a key? I was like, Grandma, she's living here. I gave her a fucking key. I'm not home.
Yeah.
So she's funny like that too.
Yeah, but Kenzie's also the worst at giving keys back.
Yeah, I'll just lie to her and tell her that I got it back. Like if I have to go make a duplicate just to lie to my grandma, I'll do it. So
Jesus Christ, that's funny.
Like even Cheyenne doesn't have a key because after we got after the house fire, Cheyenne never got one, like a new key. I need to give her one because the amount of times I come home at midnight and my brother's already locked the door. I'm used to being able to call Cheyenne because she's either up or I can go and get it. Because my grandma gets mad, and also like there's times where I'm sneaking back in the house at like 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock, and I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the "Why are you coming home at 2 in the morning" conversation.
Yeah, honestly, if you're ever in that situation, just bring your key over to my apartment and couch crash and just say, "Oh, I decided to spend the night with my friend."
Yeah, that's what I need to do because she's something else. I even delete my video footage on the Ring camera because I'm like, you are not saying that I came home at 2 in the morning.
That's so funny that you have that one up on her. That she's nosy enough that she's like, but you're smart enough.
I'm already on top of it.
Yeah, covering your tracks. That's funny.
Thank you. Well, bring us in, Kaylin.
You're listening to Post Credit Depression, where we discuss this week's current hyperfixation. My name is Kaylin, and I started writing again.
That's your fun fact. You started doing some creative writing outlet.
Yes.
Ripley, would you like to do the intro for Kinsey? Thank you. My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is I've been eating salt and vinegar chips for like the last
Me too.
like 4 or 5 days. I think my salt intake is extremely high. I can't stop.
Yeah, Colin got this family-sized of a
brand
that I decided
pantry.
I don't want to eat that brand.
Was it the kettle one? The one that I get
brand.
from work?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have it at high doses. I'm eating regular ass Lay's, bro.
The Lay's ones have a sweet taste to them, which I like. And, or the the Miss Vicky's has a sweet taste.
We should just go and try all the salt and vinegar chips at this rate. They're so bad for you, but I can't help it.
I know. It's just like only like one spot of my brain needs to be tickled, and only salt and vinegar can tickle it.
I'll like die down in like 2 weeks, and I'll go to like sour cream and onion.
Yeah.
Temporarily, or like Cheez-Its or
Chips
Cheetos
in
or
general
something.
Are so bad.
I know. I actually don't usually eat them a lot. I don't know. I think it was at work. I've just started eating them more. Like,
I think it's like you just need something savory when maybe it's like a lack of nutrition.
That's another thing. I think there is some like science behind it, but I don't eat like sweet stuff. So I always gravitate towards savory stuff.
Me too.
It's gotten to the point where like my coworkers, like Kaylee was like, I see that you eat these every day. They're your favorites. I was like,
called her
coworker.
You're
my coworkers.
You're going through the phase.
Or Kaylee.
You're going through the phase we went through.
Anyway,
my coworker Mariah.
I said my coworkers, even Kaylee, has noticed, and she'll be like, this is your favorite, and I'm like,
to make you stand out in my father's memory, I would call you my coworker Mariah because I know that he knows you from there and that you're my friend at
That's
work.
what I did to my mom. That's when you start noticing that I was calling you my coworker because my mom doesn't know my friends. She knows my 2 friends.
Yeah, because if you say, oh, my friend Mariah, like, that's such a generic, like, title versus my coworker friend Mariah. Step up in a way. If you say my coworker or acquaintance, then, like, that's below friends.
Yeah.
There's coworker friend that, like, it depends on the coworker friend. I would say coworker friend, like we are, it's like better than, like, you're basically best friends. If it's coworker or acquaintance, you laugh at work, they're funny, you would never hang out with them outside of work.
Like the first 2 weeks I knew you were just my coworker. I was like, I don't know this girl. And I was like, I like this girl, hanging out with her. She's like a cool acquaintance. And then we hung out for the first time, and I was like, yeah, she's my friend. That's my coworker. She's my friend. No big deal. And now now we're not coworkers anymore, so we're just friends. Yeah,
when then we went through that whole phase of,
we were lovers,
being jealous that they were in the acquaintance ranking still and not in the friend. Because, like, the second they were fine, but then the second they saw someone got upgraded, they were like,
but
whoa.
There also was never a chance for me to be friends with them, so why is the jealousy present?
Yeah, honestly, like, I experienced that at my last job, not the one with you, but my last job, and it didn't even involve me, but I could see other people getting jealous of other people going from acquaintance to friend, and they're like, oh my god, why am I not in those group chats? Why am I not being invited to those gatherings? And I'm just kind of like, bitch, if you don't want me, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I'm not into the chase. I've never been into that. Obviously, there's something incompatible about us that I get the picture. I'm like, okay, cool, I get that. And I find my people. I've always done that in my life. And it kind of hurts to see other people kind of like get hung up about it. You can get like, I guess, maybe feeling betrayed if you thought you were friends and then you find out that like it's more. But I don't know. I kind of knew immediately. Like, these acquaintances are staying acquaintances, so seeing other people kind of get hung up over it, I'm just kind of like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, maybe it's my Scorpio placements, maybe it's my Cancer 11th house. Like, people just like gravitate towards me to be friends, and I'm like, yeah, chase after me. Good luck.
It's because you're a chameleon.
Good luck. Maybe we'll be friends. It's my favorite part when people are like, yeah, I love. This sounds so mean. When people are like, yeah, I love her, I want to be her friend, and they're like literally up my ass trying to be my friend, and I'm like, I never once considered you anything more than the first day I met you as a random person.
Honestly, though, I used to think you were a little judgmental for that, and then I know the exact people you're talking about. That they're not good people to like feel bad for. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead, keep trying, and you know, buy me those gifts, treat me to a nice iced coffee.
Yeah, I guess that.
But also, I will say, I'm not an asshole for this, because I don't do it to take advantage of these people. I make it very much known that I don't like them.
You do.
And then
I
they
think
continue.
it's the pushiness where I'm like, you deserve it at that point.
They continue to try. So at what point am I no longer the asshole where I'm accepting the gifts when I've told you I didn't like you?
Yeah. You've straight up, like, in those words, that I don't like you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're just playing a love game. You're just playing hard to get.
Yeah.
Like old Greg.
They think they know what they're talking about, but my Scorpio ain't a nice Scorpio, so it's fine. Kaylin, what did we watch this week?
Wow, it's so funny that we're talking about like mind games, but it has nothing to do.
I love when our little commentary always ends up being something similar to what we've consumed this week.
Yeah, I guess like mental health, maybe.
Yeah.
We watched Alice in Wonderland, the original
1951.
1960s?
51.
51. Oh, wow.
I looked it up early because I couldn't remember. I was like, Alice in Wonderland. They gave me the other one. I said, no, Alice in Wonderland original.
All right. Yeah, it had to have been filmed right after Peter Pan.
Yeah, when I was looking it up, I saw an article, didn't read it, but it was like, why Alice in Wonderland didn't get big until the 1970s. And I was like, I should read that. Didn't.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting that it came out that early.
Wonder what we could talk about in another podcast about.
So yeah, obviously we didn't consume all of Florence this week because Kinsey is still busy being a corporate girly. Yeah, but we'll be back when Kinsey gets back on the grind. Kinsey will be here, guys. I promise she will be back. We just gotta keep it going.
Yeah, sorry if she's some of your guys' favorite character, but you're just gonna suck it up, Buttercup.
If she is, I hope you guys are also 5 feet tall and I could fight you. I'm just kidding.
I'm never getting my hopes up to be anybody's favorite character. I hope it's like,
bro,
kind
you
of,
act like
I want to
there's
be the
not some quirky
Hufflepuffs
person out there that's like, Kaylin's so funny, and
That's
they
what I'm
dog
saying.
on her. For
I want to be the
reason.
niche favorite, the
Your breath smells
Hufflepuff,
really good
the odd one. Like, a lot of people in Game Grumps, I think their favorite's Danny, but like, I want to be the Aaron, likability.
Dang. So yeah, we watched Alice in Wonderland because it is one that Kinsey does not like.
Yeah, Kinsey actually did not like Alice in Wonderland at all the last time her and I watched it like a year ago. And
was that her first time watching it?
No, she's seen it before, but she said it has always made her uncomfortable because of how angry everybody gets.
You know what? It makes sense now that you told me that she didn't like Sword of the Stone, why she wouldn't like Alice in Wonderland either, because it also feels like a little jumpy all over the place kind of vibe.
Alice in Wonderland does. Like, it goes from basically the main character interacting with other characters. There's no real plot.
Yeah, it could have been told in any order. It just happened to be told in the order it was told.
The overarching plot is she is transported to Neverland and she's trying to get home. So she does have a goal, but like really it's just her wandering about and running into different characters. Sword in the Stone, which we could talk about this like when we cover it.
Yeah.
Another one we'll say for just me and you, but it's Arthur what's it called? Being taken under by Merlin for different sorts of studies and training. And it's just like, different situation to a different situation to a different situation. But it's not like, how Alice in Wonderland, it feels like you run into so many different characters and stuff. It's even less than that. And it's just kind of like, I'm like, Kinsey, why don't you understand what's going on? She's like, I don't get the story. And I'm like, well, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah, it doesn't have like a straight path for it.
Yeah, well, not super linear, but like it's more like if here's point A and point B, it kind of takes like we're going off to the side. We're going off to the side.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
I understand.
Yeah, I figured it would be a good one to do now because I want to save the Florence for when Kinsey's here. And, you know, when you're moving, you don't always, like, you know, you're not able to get around to the frivolous stuff like your office or your microphone.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, she's just dealing with life like we all have to. You give her that space. But I do want to save that for when she's around. So, Florence still in the queue.
Yeah, it's okay. There'll be a day where you'll move again or I'll move and we'll have to work around this.
Yeah, we'll just do duos until we get the trio back.
Yeah, but that's endgame, obviously. Kinsey's still in the pod, everyone. Ripley, my leg fell, so can you move? I'm sorry. Or don't move.
She went to a farm.
She went to a farm?
Do you know, like, the morbid stories they say of, like, pets? Like,
oh yeah.
They went to the farm.
They went to the farm.
Just kidding.
Yep.
She's all right.
Dang. So I started this movie, and first of all, I forget until I watch classic Disney, like, something they're lacking. I love when the opening credits happen in any old Disney films. As soon as I hit play, it, like, transported me back to my childhood, and I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. I love the colors. I love the little stills.
I was already going to say that to you, and something about it feels so nostalgic and bittersweet, as if, like, I know the movies to go to get this, but movies are not made like this anymore, and you can only get that fix from these old movies. And you're right, like, I feel like I'm about to get into the setting, and I don't know, it used to feel so normal when we were kids, and now it doesn't feel normal. Now it feels like, you know,
They're like, here's the 3D castle, start film. No
Yeah.
open credits.
Like going down to the cellar and picking out an old special bottle of wine that, like, there's not gonna be more made of it. It's that's the only one that you can enjoy.
Yeah, it definitely adds something to it, and like the way the music hits, and I was just like, dang, I am suddenly 10 years old again.
You're gonna make me cry.
In my
we just
basement.
started.
It's okay. It's okay.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something about Alice in Wonderland stood out to me, like, differently than a lot of films at the time, like more so than I'd say like Little Mermaid or other like Disney princess like films. I really gravitated towards Alice in Wonderland. Like, if Peter Pan's your Disney movie, I feel like Alice in Wonderland has always been mine, like the one that I don't know if it's autism, but like something about the shapes, colors,
The shapes and
characters,
colors are
sounds.
so good in that movie.
Yeah, definitely created by like painters, like the colors, the way that like Alice as a character changes when she goes under different lighting, like the tunnel when she's falling, like
it's that 2D art, you know, it's happening, that 2D animation.
the crocodile and the fucking when he's smoking and the
Oh,
pink crocodile comes out.
yeah.
It's like so vivid, and like I'm just teleported. I'm like, I am 10 years old again when I watch films like that.
so
One other
good.
film that makes me feel like I can watch it and it gives me the similar itch in my brain that like when I was a kid it gave me is My Neighbor Totoro. When I watched that, I feel the exact same way as when I watched it as a kid, which was the only Studio Ghibli movie
When did
I
that movie
watched
come out?
as a kid.
Like 90s?
I will say 90s,
I'll
but
look it
I
up.
want to say it was like maybe even earlier than 90s, maybe.
I've never seen it, but I will say, yeah, the animation does give.
It's
like
not
a-
late 90s for sure.
It gives like an older vibe. 1988.
Oh, that is the definition of late 80s.
Yeah.
Really? 19.
You
Oh, wait,
said
no.
not-
Oh,
you said
I
not
thought
late
you said
90s.
1998. Oh my god. Yeah, 1988.
88. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
I
wild
guess
to
if-
think that Alice in Wonderland came in the 50s. Like, I can't even imagine what the fuck the 50s looked like, and they're over here making Alice in Wonderland.
I can.
I can't. You can imagine what the 50s looked like.
Yeah, it's easy. It was like the stereotypical period for the white picket fence family where the mom stayed at home and where that like 1950s dress style and like waiting for the
Segregation
husband to
still
come
existed then.
home. Huh?
Segregation still existed then.
Sure.
Sorry.
Listen. That's why I use the word stereotypical,
Yeah, I
because
know.
if you Google 1950s, you're gonna find these.
They're not
sorts
going to
of,
be like white person water fountain, black person water fountain.
yeah, the idealized American dream
Yeah.
that like was actually super toxic because like rushing into marriages that like you end up getting abused in, and then like there's lots of fucking problems from it. But
it's just wild that technology like that existed, obviously.
I know the video game Fallout, at least, God, I can't remember the name, Fallout 4? Yeah, I think it's that one. I'm not a big Fallout fan. I'm out here spewing it like I know what I'm talking about. But I do know it is based in the 1950s because the 1950s is post World War II. Oh God, I just hope I'm getting my facts straight. Post World War II, and there was kind of a so you fact checking it?
Yeah, I am. World War II ended 1945. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Right after that, and so the video game takes inspiration of the nuclear war and fighting that happened, and they basically like expand upon that, and there's like this apocalyptic shit that happens because of all the bombings and all the technology. Like, we're in the future now, but all the technology looks like it's from the 1950s, and aesthetic and, you know, artwork. So when you're playing the video game, like, that's one of the historical facts I know about that. But
I'd like to comment. I love whenever we're on the pod and we're talking about like historical or like grammatically correct shit. Like, we're not all just creative majors. We're like, yeah, the war ended, and we're like, we're probably fucking wrong because I went to school for art, you went to school for art, Kendra went to school for art, and we're just like spitting out facts over here like we know what we're talking about.
That's why I say it like with like a pain in my voice. I'm like, I hope I'm right. That's what my history teacher told me if I remember it right.
I even took a history class in college. I took a whole actually, I think it was like
I took anthropology in college.
My
I did
history
not take
class
history.
was on like, it wasn't a black history class, but like it was about the civil rights. So like I was like, I already know this shit. I was like, give me something I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, it's weird how my brain works. I don't know if your brain works like this, and even for current memories with you guys, because anytime I hear Kinsey saying like what year stuff happened, or she'll say after junior year, and I'm like, no, that was your sophomore year, and she'll be like, no, it wasn't, and I have to sit there and lay out her life, and then she'll be like, holy shit, that is exactly how it happens.
Well, Kinsey has no concept of like time.
Yeah, everything in my brain looks like a timeline, and what I remember films too.
I also have no concept of time because I'll be like, yeah, 2 years ago, and it'll be like 5 years ago.
Oh no, if I try to look back,
if you lay it out, yes, I can lay it out.
In my brain, there's this long line, and it there's what I can remember in my lifetime, and there's also what I've learned about history. And when I learn that, you know, for example, My Neighbor Totoro was made before Princess Mononoke, 1997. I start placing them on the line in my brain, and so when I start saying shit like Fallout fucking, you know, was based off of this time period, I can like pull from it. I can like associate events with times and then my age. Like, I know certain stuff. I'm like, oh, my sophomore year I was 16 because I was able to drive, and like stuff like that, which is early because most people are 16 when they're juniors. So like I can do it like that. I can break down like whatever happened to place it in my, like, oh, I broke the school record my junior year of high school. I broke the track record in college my junior year of college. I can like associate that. But I'm very visual, so I just imagine the event happening. But here's where I'm hung up. One, I did a lot of stuff out of order in my life, and you know, we're not gonna get into that. But I got that way, especially with college, which is, you know, I'd say that the beginning of my senior year of high school is when my life really started to calm down. Well, no, I was gonna say take off, and like I have facts that actually mattered, or facts that events that mattered. Anything before that. Does Ripley know that Colin's home? She might hear the dog. No, he's not home yet. No, he's not. It's only 5:27. But I was gonna say, where I'm hung up as far as using that method is now that we're out of college. I don't know what to call things anymore. I just finished my master's, so I think after that, I think I will now be entering that timeline of life. Let's just pause for a second. I was saying that I don't know what method I'm going to use other than just a year-to-year basis now. Like, in 2022, 2023. But that requires you also remembering. So then it'll become more vague, kind of like when I say, oh, that was definitely before the 1990s, or that was definitely... That's disgusting. That's just how time... That's just how time works, Mariah. It's sad, but, like, that's just how it works. Yeah, I mean, I guess now that I'm, like, officially done with, like, my education, I'm gonna have to figure out a new system to remember things, too. Or we could be like actually, Alice, time's not real, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like, things that are nonsense actually make sense in Wonderland, so we could, you know, just change the rules. Yeah. Yeah, so the movie, obviously we talked about the opening credit, love it. Love the magic of the movie. I
I'm just gonna jump to. I've talked to you in the past when we talked about this movie, the fucking clam story that Tweedledee and Tweedledum. First of all, I don't remember
You are jumping ahead.
how much. It's not that far ahead, but it's ahead. It's okay. No, I'll rewind. I'll go back to the beginning.
It's after the sister,
Why
after the rabbit, after
the
the tunnel,
hell
after
was
the
she
door,
so committed-
after the dodo, after the
Okay,
Tweedledee
shut the fuck
Tweedledum,
up.
and then it's the
Why was she so committed? At what point you're a child, you're chasing after this white rabbit, okay? You fall into a hole. At what point do you stop chasing the rabbit because there's other interesting things happening around you?
well.
Why was she
That
so
point
fixated?
does come. That point does come in the story. It comes right when the dog sweeping thing happens.
Yeah, but that's because she was having a whole mental breakdown.
Well, duh. Like she kind of just like realized like she's fucking lost. There's no way home, and she just wants to find the white rabbit,
I just feel like,
or she doesn't want to anymore.
yeah, I guess you're right. I just feel like I would have been like done after like the second time he ignored my ass.
Or you try to burn the house down
Yeah.
with the dodo.
So the door scene, iconic, one of my favorite scenes. I don't remember it happening so early for some reason.
Well, I just wanted to comment too about the sister before we get
Finish
off.
chewing.
I don't know why I hate pretzels, but right now they are so addicting. Like you made them look so good.
I wish I had some dip for him. That's extra. Continue.
Fucking Alice like roasting her sisters like real books and what's it called? Sorry, let me rephrase. Alice roasting her sister wanting to read picture books instead of real books. Like I was always like on that train when I was a kid. I was like, yeah, fuck, and now here I am like trying to write.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was just like teaching her because like the movie takes place in the 1950s, and she's like, you need to read proper to be a proper
no,
person.
that was not the 1950s.
You know what I meant. Leave me alone. It's an older movie. So they're like, we're just teaching this
That's
girl.
more like I think 1800s England era.
I know, I meant like the movie came out in the 1950s, so like obviously at the time all they're knowing is like we're teaching a young girl to be proper.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, we will do this and we will show her how to read, and she's like, actually I don't want to do this anymore.
She was actually taking her history lesson. I'm sorry. I had to do it one more time.
It's okay.
But we can fast forward to my dog watched the rabbit run into the tunnel. That was funny. And then when he came back on the screen after she fell down to the bottom of the
Ripley
rabbit
is a
hole,
herding dog, so
her ears perked back up. It was
yeah,
pretty
I'm
funny.
talking about you, Ripley.
She wanted to chase the white rabbit. Maybe I'll name her Alice. But all right, we're at the door now. And the fucking cookies and the drinks look so
they always look good.
Like
I would have
could
kept some of
taste
those for later.
I could taste those as a kid. Could you taste them?
I could. They're good. I also love the like. Obviously, like as an adult, when I was a kid, I was just like, oh, magical movie. But like, obviously, you know, as an adult, that it's like a dream world, and it's like everything isn't what it is, and is whatever it isn't, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So like every time like things were questioned, there was always an answer, and when there was an answer without a question, it was provided at every time. Like when she's like, well, how can I get through the door? And he's like, well, duh, the cookie. And she's like, okay. And then he's like, did you get the key? She's like, how can I get the key? Oh, magically it's there. But like when I was a kid, I was like, this is so magical. But it is just like her brain, because she said what she wanted the world to be. So like they're like, oh, well, you didn't get the key. Well, why don't you get that cookie? And it appears.
That's literally how my nightmares work. Like I will be in a setting and I'd be like, you know what would suck right now if there was just a shooter that walked into the store. And then guess what happens? A shooter walks in the store. Sorry, I can change the phrase. A murderer.
Yeah, you always magically have the answer, or you magically don't have an answer that you had 2 seconds ago.
It either like gets worse, or yeah, you're right, it gets better.
Yeah.
I guess yeah. If you're just doing a mundane task and you're like, "Where's the pizza cutter?" There's not a pizza cutter in here, and then you're like, "Oh, right here on this, piece of bread." Like,
yeah,
something weird.
It's always like very illogical stuff. So even that like scene watching it, I'm like, oh, she literally spoke that into existence. She's like, everything isn't what it is, and what it isn't. And I was like, okay, so the doorknob's not simply a doorknob. The cookie's not simply a cookie. Also, you got the cookie, but you need the key. You need the other cookie to get up there, and yada, yada, yada.
I liked all the doors when she opened it and opened it and opened it.
That's
really
really
cool.
so magical. Yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love her little crying self that she sobs so much, and the doorknob's just like, well, fuck it. I don't need the key. I'll just get you out of here.
Mm-hmm.
The next scene, I don't
Relatable,
know why.
like crying and fucking floating around your own tears.
The scene where she's like trying to cool off. Even as a kid, I hated that scene. And when I was rewatching it, I didn't like it either. When they're like running in the circle to get like out of the water with the birds and the starfish, and the dodo is like in the fire.
Chaotic?
I don't know. I just feel like it like wasn't necessary.
It is based off of the original writing.
Yeah, I know. Have you read the book?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I read it in high school.
It's based off the original writing, and they cut way more characters
Mm-hmm.
than that out. But I feel like it's not important, but it does show the randomness of Wonderland.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the book or the movie kind of has like a mix of both Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass combined into one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's definitely parts that are here and there. So. Yeah, I forget that it is based fully off of a book, and the book, the guy was on, like, fucking, it's all about drugs and shit or whatever.
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, so I do forget that it's just, like, a goofy little book movie situation. I did like that the animals were just, like, fucking running and listening to this dodo bird when he was clearly just in front of a fire chilling.
How many people do you know that remind you of the dodo bird? Specifically, when he was pressuring the lizard to go down, he's like, "You'll be famous, come on, lad, down you go." He's like,
Probably, like,
grab him by the neck and pull the monster out.
oh my gosh.
Like-
And some Capricorns that we know.
Yeah, like I'm picturing like, I don't know, some old ass mansplaining man that like has this like positive attitude, trying to be the cool boss, but he's also like, I'm the leader, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's dumb as rocks. Like, I feel like I know so many people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She was just like that at work. Oh my god. It's always like it stems from I don't want to do it, so you should do it.
And like even when he's wrong or it doesn't work, he's like, Anyways. You know?
Anyways. Was there a scene? There was a scene before.
Yeah, there was.
was
The
this?
Tweedledee Tweedledum and then your oyster scene.
Oh, okay. I was about to jump into that whole scene with the house. I'm gonna forget my track, so I'm staying on the house scene. So when he was looking for Marianne, does this rabbit have a servant? Who is Marianne?
I think it's his like hand aid or like.
So he has
helper.
a servant in his house.
Well, he works for the royals. You know, he's the fucking.
So he's got a little bitch that grabs his gloves for him.
Everybody needs to work. There's
You're not
jobs.
wrong.
There's jobs for everyone.
He was so mean to her though.
I know. He's like, Marianne, bitch, get up.
I'm fucking late. I'm late, and you're making me later. Get my gloves. Like you couldn't have hopped your ass up those stairs and grabbed your gloves yourself.
That's funny.
Also,
When I was a kid, I thought Marianne was another name for Alice. I was confused why he was talking to her.
why they got those cookies just laying around for?
Well, all right.
It's a dream. Yeah, it's a dream. But like, I was just mad. I was like, if this is not a dream, because as a child you don't realize it's a dream, why are these cookies just sitting here
I don't know.
for fun? And then also, does nobody in this world know the cookies exist? Because every time she shrunk or got small, people were freaking out. Except
yeah,
for
they were, like,
the
monster
caterpillar.
Maybe. No.
The caterpillar knew because he
Oh.
said one side will make you larger and one will make you smaller.
See, nothing's supposed to make sense. Like, you can't prove nothing about Alice in Wonderland.
Well, he was like a high intellectual, so he knew everything.
So did the dodo.
The dodo.
Um,
But like, if everyone has these cookies and these snacks and stuff, why don't they put two and two together? When she was small and then got big, why did they not realize it was the same person?
I cannot wait to get to my favorite food in this. It's actually not the cookies, but it's a few scenes down. Last thing I'll say real quick while we're on the rabbit house is
Yeah.
I wanted to live there. I still do.
Did
Every time
you?
I see the house. Yes. The colors.
It's very much your vibe. I can see it.
The fucking clock that the dodo breaks in front of the rabbit, poor thing. Oh, that pink, funky looking furniture. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely your vibe.
Absolutely. So she is incredibly small after
Mm-hmm.
the rabbit's house, and I'm very sure the next thing is the flowers.
Yeah, but go back to Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
What the fuck?
I skipped them.
You did. All right.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum are irrelevant other than the story they tell.
I completely agree.
Do you think that they just live in the woods? And they just like
Mm.
taunt people with stories?
I don't know, but when you really think about what they are, like there's magical flowers, there's magical cats, there's, you know, the Mad Hatter and the
Yeah.
fucking rabbit and the mouse, the dormouse are all iconic Alice in Wonderland characters. So is Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and actually a lot of people love them,
Mhm.
and I see them marketed everywhere. They're two grown twins running around the woods, acting
Maybe
really
they were
weirdly
banished as like bad gestures.
Mm-hmm.
Or gestures. Is that the word? I'm thinking of?
Gestures.
Gestures?
Yeah.
Is that the gestures like funny
Oh,
clowns?
a jest.
But is gestures the right thing? Because I'm thinking like a gesture, like a movement.
Gesture would be like, I guess that word, but jest for
My
short.
brain's hurting.
They don't give me jest vibes. They're dressed like little
Well,
boys.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe they were banned from.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. So they just show up.
In the live action, they're called her Fat Boys, the Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They show up and they tell this tale of the oysters, which when I was a kid felt like such a cool little concept. And I think it's because like the story and the animation kind of changes for a second.
Mm-hmm.
The animation doesn't change 100%, but like the way it's like everything's laid out and design changes.
Yeah, you're like on the whole little world, like the sun and the moon and the beach. Yeah, something about the whole Walrus and Carpenter story really like hummed in my brain when I was a kid.
We're cabbages and kings.
Yeah. And then that butter, oh my god. It looks so good. Like it didn't even look like butter. My brain didn't even process it as butter as young as I watched it, but like it looked delicious.
Why couldn't the mother stop her children from going?
Hold on.
Also, why did the walrus not save a single clam for the carpenter?
Because he was greedy. And, I mean, the mother oyster warned them. They still went. They didn't listen to her. Natural selection.
I'd beat my kid. No, I'm kidding. We're like, I texted you last night and was like, when people open the oysters, are they dead? I've been seeing so many people on social media just opening up clams and taking the pearls. And I'm like, are you killing them?
Yeah, it could either be that they're already dead or it could be more than likely that they're alive.
How like obviously they're alive, they're breathing, whatever the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like compared to like an animal, like are they in pain?
Mm-hmm. If you're asking about the ethicalness, like yeah, they're in pain. And I've only seen like very rare situations, and I've seen videos. They open the shell just like about an inch or so, and then they go in and they extract the pearl, and then they let the oyster live longer to keep producing the pearls. But I mean, that's way more time consuming.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for some reason, obviously I eat meat and I'm like, yeah, kill the cow, give me the burger.
You think about it,
but something about the oyster just stressed me out. I was like, y'all are killing him just for these little pearls.
Yeah, I mean, you compare it to fishing and the way that the fishing industry is, like, the fish are alive, thrown on ice, and they die a very slow, painful death. You know? It's just like it's.
Yeah, I guess the problem is also I'm seeing like like you get the fish, you're eating the fish, like they're going for a good cause in your body, but like.
You're saying that for a frivolous use that it
not
feels
even
more
that.
wrong.
And when you kill, like you can't eat a dead fish. You know what I mean? Like you can't just pick a dead fish out of the water and assume it's healthy. But like if we can just wait for the oysters to die and still get the pearls, why can't we just wait for it to die?
I think it's just like the fucking.
I think that's what bothered me about it because I was like, we can't. I eat cows, I eat chickens, but I can't eat a sick chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I can wait till it's full and healthy and then kill it. But like if saving the oyster just to get to the end, because the pearls are still gonna be there either way, why can't I just wait?
Let's look up. Alexa's unplugged. Look up the lifespan of a oyster. That might be the answer to your question.
Yeah. Lifespan of an oyster. 20 years.
Yeah, that might be why. Like, they're like, bitch, I know you got the pearl in you, and I'm not waiting that long to make my cash. Like,
yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know why I'm getting like worked up about them killing oysters all of a sudden, but like the more I watched the video, at first I was like, cool, look at those pearls. Then I was like, that's a lot of pearls, and I was like, are they hurting them? Because I didn't know if they were like alive or not. Really, didn't know if they were like plants or if they were more like animals. You
know what I got recently like funked up over was caviar.
What's caviar?
Caviar. Well, caviar is fish eggs.
Oh, I thought that was like the dead lamb, but that's something else. The baby lamb.
Yeah.
So they eat fish eggs.
I don't. Well, yeah. The fish eggs. Mm-hmm. How do you think fish eggs are extracted from the sturgeon?
They grab the fish and they go.
Nope.
They kill the fish.
Okay. It takes like I think.
How come in Finding Nemo they just lay all the eggs? You can't just eat them there.
I think it's because it's something weird. Like, there's a certain basically, you know how like women go through cycles and stuff. There's a certain stage that the fish eggs are in the belly, and like if you miss it, I think you have to wait like a whole nother like 2 years.
It's probably like before the fetus is developed type of deal.
Well, I mean, they could just separate them from the males, and they'll still produce the eggs. But it's like even if it's off by like a month or so, the eggs are like basically like they're too something to eat. Like,
oh my God.
There's a very prime stage for extracting a fish.
What kind of fish do they come out of?
Sturgeon.
What is that?
It's a. You're
okay.
asking the
It's
art.
okay.
Okay, no, you're fine. I can answer with my best guess. I
No,
believe
they're
it's
not
a
like-
kind of carp.
They're not like goldfish that die in like 5 years.
They live a really long lifespan.
Damn, bro. And they're just like, we want
Yeah,
those eggs.
and before you can tell if it's a male or a female, it takes like 7 years.
Who do you think was the first person to be like, you know what we should try?
Fish eggs.
These fish eggs. Slice it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very interesting process, but the
But
part
can
that
the
makes me
fish
sad
be
is they
eaten
have
as
to.
well?
I believe that the fish meat is processed.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just weird to think that like there's a whole industry out for like just the eggs or like that's.
Imagine being a
the
young
main
mother
thing.
and you're like, I can't wait to birth these 200 babies and be an awesome mom. And they're like, yeet!
Well, think about like if you go through the eggs and then like there's no males around, so you can't breed them. And then let's say the fish farmer misses like. We are on a very far tangent. But
It's okay.
let's say he misses it, then your eggs just dissolve and you have to
Yeah.
start it over again.
It's true. So anyways, yeah, the oyster scene, very funny, very cute. I wished the fucking walrus nothing but hell in his life.
Yeah, he was pretty greedy for that.
Yeah.
But God, he makes the butter look so good. And the salt.
That
Actually, no,
moment when they
that was
turn
the
the
carpenter made
sign
it look good.
over to the oysters, they're all like,
Yeah. They're like, we gotta get our asses
yeah,
eat.
we're getting eaten.
Something about the scene doesn't make me feel that sad, though. I feel more bad for the carpenter. I
Yeah.
wanted him to have his
Yeah.
like food.
I did too. I agree.
Something about I don't know why.
So then what was after? She's tiny. She's running out of the house.
Okay, yeah. After the house is the flowers,
She's like, Mr. Rabbit.
aka the pop figures Kinsey got you and I.
Yeah, they're super cute. I would say that's like one of the most iconic scenes from Alice in Wonderland.
I know, it's so nice. Like even rewatching it, I'm like, wow, that white flower over there is hot. The one that sings really good.
I can't with you. Why they animate flowers like that?
Don't know.
Why they do that to me?
I chewed with my mouth open.
It's fine. Yeah, that seems so good. I really thought, like, when I was a kid, I was like, why couldn't she have just lied and said that she was a flower? Like, they believed her. They're like, oh, she's a wildflower. She's like, no, I'm an Alice.
Well, the one bitchy purple flower was like,
Oh, the one who, the know-it-all.
she's like, I've never heard of a flower called Alice.
Well, yeah, she should have just said, yeah, I'm a wildflower.
But they wanted to know her Gina's name.
Be like, listen here, bitch. I just showed up. I just popped out of the ground one day.
Want to talk about segregation? I can see where they got their
Hi,
inspiration.
Colin.
Oh my god.
Talk about, we went from the flowers and you said the purple one, you know, Miss Virgo over here who knows everything. Talk about a real Virgo when you cut to the next scene with the fucking caterpillar.
Oh, he's a real Virgo.
We're
She
talking-
gives me,
he's like-
English teacher vibes
Yes.
that like, I don't know, can you go to the bathroom? Like that's the vibe she
But
gives
he's
me.
like a Virgo stallion, which is not good.
Can I get water from my desk, please?
Just sit down.
Oh, I can ask Colin. I'm sorry. Hey, Kinsey. I'm with Mariah. Can we call you back in 15 minutes?
Why?
We're recording the podcast.
Are you? Is it like actively playing right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like to say anything, Kinsey?
What are your thoughts on Alice in Wonderland?
Put the phone up.
I fucking hate Alice in Wonderland.
I don't think it picked that over your whole. Oh yeah, you are.
I think it scares the shit out of me.
We were saying that your autism doesn't like the random angriness.
Because it's real. Like
We were
the
just
way-
talking about the butterfly like turning red and screaming at her like when
Yeah, and that's exactly what the fuck I'm thinking right now.
Listen.
It's that little butterfly's face. I can never get over it. He's so
It's because they're
mad.
all mad, Kinsey.
they're all mad, Kinsey.
I don't care how mad they are. They're flowers. That shit sent me back into my narcissistic parent shit.
This is how we should just record the podcast without Kinsey from now.
Oh my god.
Anyways, we're trying to fly through the rest. We kept going on these super long, unrelated tangents. Like, if we were talking about oysters, we were talking about, like, the harvesting of oysters and sturgeons. And we're falling kind of behind. We're, like, an hour in, and we're only, like, halfway in the movie.
Well, I had
right
to cut the first, like, 10 minutes because Kaylin's mic was backwards.
Oh, well, you'll call me in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'll start counting down now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That dork.
I know.
555.
555.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, when she sliced open that little mushroom, it looked like a nice slice of pie that I want to take a bite of.
Looked so delicious.
If you were in the world, would you be eating the food?
Absolutely.
Because it seems like every food makes you grow or shrink. Even the carrot did.
I would. No, I don't care. I'd eat all the food.
Because it looks that good.
Yes, I would try every bit of it. And you know what? If I ate a cookie and I fell on the floor, I would, climb out Everest to get back
Also,
up there and have more.
why was she upset about being so large? I feel like I would want to be as large.
Well, the people thought she was a monster,
Yeah,
and then
you're
the
right.
one fucking old bird right after the mushroom scene.
Yeah, that's funny.
She's like, serpent.
That's how she sounds. Why are you shaking? Why are you shaking?
Hold on. Pause. Colin. Before you make dinner, will you take the dog out too?
So bad.
Great, please. Thank you so much.
So then after this is literally my favorite scene. This is the scene that I played the video game on the DVD with and everything. This is probably you get the Mad Hatter, who's like, everyone loves Mad Hatter. I would say like right after the Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter's probably like a fan favorite.
He probably is above the Cheshire
You think
Cat,
so?
in my opinion. Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people
Look it up.
getting the Cheshire.
Who's the most popular Alice in Wonderland
A lot of people
character?
get the Cheshire Cat tattooed on them, but I would say with the new live action, a lot of people are committed to the Mad Hatter as well because everyone loves what's his face.
Johnny Depp.
Thank you. Who's the favorite?
You might have a point. Maybe Disney, it's Cheshire Cat, but maybe as a character as a whole, like.
Well, because you get the iconicness of like the we're all mad here with the Cheshire Cat. Who's the most loved character? Number 1, the Mad Hatter. This one actually says the Mad Hatter, the Red Queen, Alice, then the Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, you're right though. I do see a lot of marketing like that. It's weird. Fucking Disney, they'll always pick the weirdest character to market. Like
I would agree.
in Moana, that fucking pig that is only at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like he was all over like merchandising, kids' clothes, toys, plushies, like.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
and
you
then
were in
it
the
was
film,
the dumb
you-
chicken that was the side character.
I was like, you didn't even get a minute of screen time in total.
Yeah. But yeah, the Mad Hatter scene is one of literally my favorite scenes. Aside from the oyster scene, because something about it was magical to me.
Mm-hmm.
Kinsey probably hated that scene too, because they were always yelling during that whole part of the movie.
Yeah.
They're like, clean cup, move down, clean cup, move down. And I'm like, okay. And these bitches
Yeah,
never once
I
drank
know.
tea.
It's like musical chairs to me. I like when he cuts the cup
Oh
in
yeah, he's
half.
like, I'll take 1/2 a cup, please.
Half a
And
cup.
they're just not questioning it or anything. And I love that they're like, tell me your story. And then they just keep talking about their tea and their tea party. You think they just do that mindlessly all day?
Yeah.
They just sit here with their little tea party, having
That's
a
us
blast.
having a podcast.
Yeah, Kinsey's the
Us trying to stay on topic about Alice in Wonderland.
Kinsey's the mouse asleep in the little cup.
Yeah, she's twinkle, twinkle, little bat. Oh, I wonder where we're at.
And you and I are the Mad Hatter and the rabbit. I'm probably the rabbit.
Yeah, I'm probably the Mad Hatter.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about like just Alice in Wonderland, besides it being kind of all over the place and like fantastical and wondrous, is it's chaotic too, and I like those parts. Like so,
It's literally crazy.
I like it though.
Gosh.
It's an interpretation of like literally like visualizing mental,
Yeah.
just different mental states.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would see a lot of people. I do see people with the Mad Hatter's hat or like his numbers tattooed on them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whenever I think of Alice, though, I think of the Cheshire Cat. I just picture the little scene where he like disappears and it's just his smile.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, everyone's crazy. And he's like,
not all there.
yeah, he's like, we're all mad here. That's the catch. And, Alice, this is your doing. You literally wanted a world where things didn't make sense and you got it.
Yeah, but it freaked you the fuck out.
Gosh.
So, yeah, after the Mad Hatter scene, I want to say
That's the Cheshire Cat
yeah,
scene.
it's Cheshire
That's the first
Cat.
time she sees the Cheshire Cat because she sees him
Mhm.
again later.
And then what happens after that Cheshire scene, Cat?
She tells her the whole like we're all mad there and
Or wait, no, was it Cheshire Cat then Mad Hatter? I think, yeah.
oh yes, you're right. It is Cheshire Cat because he's like oh you're all mad here and she's like well, I want to find someone who can help me and she's like oh I know someone.
He points to the house. So then after Mad Hatter,
She gets lost.
Yeah, that's when she's on the road, and the
And
dog's
road's like
sleepy.
just, yeah, that scene stressed me out so much as a
Girl,
kid.
it's the silence and the orchestra.
Yeah.
Sorry, the music.
Oh, it's just I thought it was Kinsey calling again. I was like, bro, it ain't been 15 minutes. Yeah, the whole scene. You're right. The music kind of sets the tune, and the thing's just like you hear like them just sweeping the path away, and she's kind of panicking, and then she's just standing on this one little cube. I like the metaphor of like how she's like, I can't walk because there's no sidewalk. Like you couldn't have just kept walking.
Well, it was a path, and it's like, oh, oh, a path. Like, I can follow a
Yeah.
path. And, like, when there's not a path, you can't,
She's already lost. Yeah, can't make yourself
Mhm.
more lost.
Yeah. Out of, like, the different little critters that, like, pull up, you got the little squonky ducks. You got the little runny guys with the little
I
hairs.
love the runny guys.
Yeah, and then you have the fucking umbrellas that are all grumpy. Who's Kinsey? Who's you? Who's me?
I'm probably the grumpy umbrella. To be
Kinsey's
honest,
the runny.
Kinsey's the runny guys because that's
And
very
I'm
much
the
her.
little squonky dunk.
Yeah, that's definitely
ducking.
us three. That's so funny. I'm the grumpy umbrella only because the umbrellas didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, but then they start crying, so like they're all so sensitive.
That's me.
I just am like visualizing Kinsey's like chaotic energy, like running as fast
that's
as she
literally
fucking
her.
can.
That's literally her. Oh my gosh,
Sagittarius sun.
crazy woman.
Yeah.
She
Then Cheshire Cat pops up again, and she's like, "Holy fuck, I'm so lost." And he's like, "You could go here." Like, was he trying to kill her? Was he trying to kill her?
Possibly.
Was the Mad Hatter like so mad that like they also kill people at tea time, and like he just didn't get to that phase?
Yes.
And then he's like, didn't fucking
That's why
kill her
there's
there.
so many empty seats. You have to be at a certain level of mad to be a part of the tea party.
Yeah, to
It's
understand
only
the
a matter
rules.
of time till that rabbit was.
You saw how fucked up they got, like, at the table.
Yeah.
And, the mouse was awake. Like, imagine if, like, one more slip up, and then Cat comes back, like, let's try to kill her this way now. And the queen, and then he sabotages her the whole time.
Yeah. The whole time.
And he's smiling, so you think he's, like, a helpful character, but, like, he really is just fucking around.
Gosh, and the queen herself is already intense. I can
Mhm.
imagine Kinsey getting very upset during that scene.
Yeah. Fun fact. I played my first high school play was Alice in Wonderland. What character do you think I played?
Did you play the queen?
No.
Did you play one of the cards?
Yeah.
That'd be a fun one.
Specifically, the 5 of spades.
We're painting the roses red.
Yeah,
We're
I was
painting
in
the
that scene.
roses red.
Wait, no, I wasn't in that scene. I actually was one of the guards that pulled up and grabbed, drug them off stage to go be beheaded.
Oh gosh, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, and I also like designed the costume to where like they could look as flat as possible. They had like really wide shoulder
Yeah.
blades, and then the way it draped looked as flat as you could make a person, versus like I've seen weird ass card costumes, and
Get down, Ripley. Get down.
I thought that was like the best way to do it. But anyways,
I didn't watch Best here, so you'll have to talk more.
oh, you're good.
I do love the hysteria that they were like so terrified of the queen, and they were like, we accidentally fucked up and planted white roses, and we have to paint them red. So
Mhm.
it's like, this is literally so intense.
Yeah, I like the Ridley, go away. Go away. I liked the commentary on like I guess like crazy, monarchy rulers and
Mhm.
just it gives me like King Henry VIII vibes, like
Yeah.
execute you. And
She did that shit with no hesitation.
yeah. Also the scene is where I learned my fucking kissing ass as a child, because seeing Alice kiss ass like, "Your Majesty," and she's like, "Very good, little girl." I was
Yeah,
like, that is
yeah.
how you people please. That is how you get somebody who is angry and in power to just like she'd be like, "Darling," and she'd be like, "Oh, I just have a question." She's like, "No questions." "Yes, Your Majesty," and she's like, "Very good. Come along. Let's play croquet." And I'm like, now I know
Oh
how
my
to
God,
kiss
I
ass.
love the croquet scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the fucking little
It's so funny.
giggly shits.
Yeah.
The flamingos.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious. And she's like, they're like fucking with her as they're trying to hit the ball.
I feel like I'm the pink flamingo constantly in your life, just fucking around,
In
making
my
jokes.
life.
Think about it, like when I'm like, being inappropriate or like
Telling
joking around.
Justin that I'm a fake vegetarian.
Yeah, or just like being like, I don't know, like staring at your tits when you're wearing a like hot shirt. I'm like,
Yeah. You're like, ha, Mariah's boobies. And I'm like, Galen.
or
leave
I
me
just
alone.
make like the timely like dad joke, or I don't know.
Yeah.
just
No,
dumbass
it is
shit.
good. That is
Yeah,
just
I
fitting.
actually kin the pink flamingo.
Oh my gosh. I'll give it to you.
And then the way that the fucking green flamingo and the green hedgehog would cheat to let the queen win, I was like,
Yeah, bro. That's the game.
mhm.
It's all for their heads if she loses. Let's be honest.
I feel like Colin kins the King of Hearts, even though he's a very large man. He
Mhm.
gives me those vibes of just like, sweet king. Like, hey, like let's be rational here.
rational.
Like, give her a fair trial. Cause then the queen, because of the Cheshire Cat, gets like, you know, humiliated in front of everybody at this croquet game.
Yeah.
Again, he's trying to kill her, and then yeah, the trial happens. I'm not gonna lie, I was cleaning up, and so I had to, you know.
Yeah, it's a
glance back.
trial.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid thinking the Cheshire Cat was like the most like mentally well person in the movie. As an adult, I'm like, just
I
kidding.
think it's because he seemed like he knew the most,
Yeah, he actually provided the most information.
but it was not helpful at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the trial happens. She grows very large. The whole time the queen's just trying to
Oh, and
execute
she's
her.
like yelling and she's getting bigger. It's almost like she grew this confidence, so like her persona grew.
Yeah, which totally could happen in a dream. I could see that too. And then she shrinks back down, and then everyone's chasing her, and everything gets super crazy and like swirly, and she's trying to find her way out. And it gets to a point where she's like, I think pulling on a door, and it's the locked door, and she can't get out.
Yeah.
And then
They're
it's
all
like
still
Alice wake
chasing
up.
after her, yeah.
Yeah, really freaky ending.
Yeah, almost like because you get to this big climax and you're like, fuck, what's happening? Everyone's after her now. Maybe they were trying to kill her.
Yeah, I want to Google if the Cheshire Cat was trying to kill Alice.
I wish I would have remembered because obviously I didn't read it, but I watched the live action of Through the Looking Glass, and I don't remember exactly like how everyone felt when she came back. Because in the live action, she was like a hero, so different film, different story.
Was the Cheshire Cat trying to kill Alice? During Alice's trial, the Cheshire Cat appears one more time to mock the queen and make her angry at Alice, and Alice reports seeing him, but the queen cannot. He eventually causes the queen to snap and try to kill Alice by repeating a series of insults to her, and Alice had Did the Cheshire Cat help Alice? The Cheshire Cat is sometimes interpreted as a guiding spirit for Alice, as it is he who directs her towards the March Hare's house and the Mad Tea Party, which eventually leads her to the final destination, the garden. Is he a good or a bad guy? He's not a hero nor an ally. Schizophrenia. That's all I
Yeah,
found.
maybe it was like maybe because like Alice is a proper child. Maybe the Cheshire Cat was like her subconscious
It's a
voice in her head.
visualization of the disappearing and reappearing like reality around you. So that's like what he's supposed to symbolize from what a random Google article just
I
told
should've
me.
went on Reddit.
Yeah, so schizophrenia.
Okay. I mean, yeah, all the characters are supposed to represent.
Different ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see the trail list of the rest of the characters, but I'll leave that for the listeners to go look up. I'm not here trying to say like what is what
Yeah,
from a cartoon, but it's interesting if it's done well, but I'm not going to be here to say whether it was or not.
I would say one of my favorite things about Disney, of this era of Disney, is they were taking like not kid stories and making them kid stories.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason why Alice in Wonderland
Or Peter Pan.
or Sleeping Beauty needed to be portrayed the way they are when they're like very dark stories.
I think that like
Even
I don't know
Snow
if it's
White.
the era that like we came from watching those films that like I almost kind of miss it a little bit. Like at least the stories I'm interested in, like I really like, the Lord of the Rings where like, Frodo, this, very peace loving, like enjoying his hobbit town, like does not want to leave, but he's like, if I don't leave, they know where the ring is. They're going to come here to get it and they're going to kill all my friends. I have to venture out and face these perils, and it's super dark. I like stories that are dark, but like, I don't know, I guess in recent Disney, like fucking Frozen, the first film, the second one, when you really think about it, there's no main antagonist, and that's not a bad thing. I'm saying things can be different. I actually love Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Things can be different, but I do miss that because I don't see it anymore. There's a difference between saying I don't see it anymore.
It doesn't feel like it
but
stands out.
Different things are also good. I'm welcoming new things, but like, can we also get like, I don't know, just a bad guy once in a while, like from the Disney Renaissance era, like kind of bad guy.
Yeah, the Renaissance era, something else. Yeah, I think that you're right. Like they're just kind of blending into the norm, and it's like who's going to break free from like the tales that we were already seeing all the time.
Yeah, and maybe that's like the cycle. Like maybe people are like, oh, let's change it up from just having bad guys. Let's get into some
even
internal
like Moana
conflict.
doesn't have like one main bad guy.
Yeah, it's just kind of like this like spreading evil, and then it's like personified, but then it's like, I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
Princess and the Frog had a bad guy that was very,
Yeah.
I don't know, I just like it once in a while. Like, different's not bad, and I think different forms of conflict,
But when
whether it
everyone's
be internal or
doing it,
external.
it doesn't feel different anymore.
Yeah, and, you know, I welcome it all. I just am kind of like, I'd love to see it to be refreshing.
We need movies based off of books some more.
Yeah. Just like a good old, you know, schizophrenic cat like story, you know?
Gosh. Well, I guess we have no reason to ask, would you share this film again? Because we both obviously like the film. Rats.
Wouldn't share it with Kinsey's ass.
Yeah,
her
we
rat
obviously
ass.
wouldn't share it with Kinsey or anyone who has narcissistic parents, apparently, according to Kinsey.
Yeah, I will say trigger warning on like the yelling. Like it's a very you know,
Odds are you've already watched this.
triggering movie.
I would say that the live action didn't feel as intense as the animated one.
No, it's just kind of like darker themed creepy.
Yeah,
like,
it definitely is.
But I would say that this evokes more emotion out of me
Yeah.
like, watching this version. Like, I don't know. If you watch it at nighttime, theatrically, lights off, popcorn going, like, you can really get into the fucking, like, film's motive, or the, God, hold on. The mood that they're trying to convey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
What are you going to share with us next week, Mariah?
Well, if Kinsey has time to return to us, we will be covering Florence.
Mhm.
If for some reason Kinsey's still not ready and moved on with us, I am resharing, because I guess you haven't watched it, but we read it. I'm showing Kaylin Given, the anime,
Mhm.
the BL, you know, it's one of my favorite manga to read. So I made Kaylin read it for our book club that we did in January.
Yeah. Gosh. We can get that started up again, you know?
Yeah, we
You and
should.
I.
You can read
It's summertime. It's a perfect time to be
Yeah.
hitting up.
you can read I Hear a
Cafes.
Sunspot, or I heard the Sunspot, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, we could. We'll get something going.
It's probably 'cause he's deaf, that's why it says I hear. It's funny. So
Oh,
yeah.
it's funny because he can't.
No, the title. Shut up. But if Kinsey's not back, we will be covering Given, the anime. Knowing Kaylin, she'll probably watch all 12 episodes.
Yeah, I
Um,
can do that in a week.
But the movie is what you like. The movie is up until like all we've read. Well, never mind. When you watch the first 12 episodes,
Mhm.
knowing Kaylin,
And then, I mean, we can maybe get through the movie too.
yeah, you know. Our
Or if
schedule's
you want to
fine.
save it for another potential podcast idea, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We can cover the first 12 episodes. I want you to watch the movie regardless. But that's what we'll be covering next week if Kinsey's not here. Otherwise, we will be back to our custom Florence. You guys will know because I'll drop the playlist, the Florence playlist, when we're covering that. So
Yeah.
don't worry.
Yeah, and if, you know, unfortunately, like, Kinsey does come back and we don't get to cover the amazing, like, Given anime, which, we'll
It'll be
either-
back because Kinsey said she'll watch it.
Yeah, we'll get her in along with it. Also, that's actually not a bad idea that, like, we split it up. That way I watch just a show, we talk about it, and then we can do a movie review, and Kinsey can catch up all the way.
True. She'd probably like the movie more than the show.
So, like, we can make her watch the show, and then we just review the movie, and obviously she's going to
The
talk
show's
about
got
the
a
show
slower build up, so Kinsey will dread watching it.
too. Perfect plan.
So, okay, well, catch you guys next week.
Bye, losers.
Bye. It's been longer than 15 minutes. Shocking.